Hey guys, Ryan here, and we are live today for the Autodromo Hermanos. I have absolutely no idea how to pronounce the name of this racetrack. Mexico Grand Prix track, the Chilango 150 here. So we got the NASCAR Xfinity Series race here today. Originally, I said I was going to be doing this one alone, but my buddy Robert decided he would join us as well. So we are both down here and ready for this one. First stream in the new studio. Feels nice to be here. Welcome on in.
Good to be back.
It's been a minute. Yep. So there we go. Again, we're getting ready to roll for the start of this one. We've got the top 10 starters over on the screen. They should be up at the top for you guys. But yeah, so we got Connor Zillich, tygibbs, Christopher Bell taking up the front three spots. I'd be willing to take the entire those front three versus the entire field if you want. You get every other car. I get those top three. I get those top three starters. I think the winner comes from those top three spots.
To be honest, I think Sammy Smith would end up on top after a few laps. He's pretty.
Sammy Smith.
Yeah.
All right. Well. All right. We'll see.
After from what I've seen over the times I've been watching, I've seen that Sammy Smith actually moves up pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't get smacked into by other people.
That is extremely ironic considering what happened with him at Martinsville when he absolutely smacked Taylor Gray into another zip code on the final lap. But yep. So there we go. We've got chat up. I've got chat over here. Let me see if I can get a version of chat over in your area so that you can see it as well. Chat. There we go. And go ahead and throw chat up right over there for you. Oh.
That was weird.
Yeah, it's because I technically clicked on the website behind it when I was trying to extend.
Yeah, that happened.
So there we go. All right, we're all set up though. Cars are getting ready to roll here from the Mexico City Grand Prix, and yeah, we are here and ready for this one. Feel free to let us know who your guys' predictions for this race win is going to be in the comments below. I'm sure we would love to see it. So, is your official rate? Are you going to take Sammy Smith as your race win pick?
Yeah,
all right.
I'll do that.
I'll take fellow Chevy driver, his teammate, Connor Zillich. Also, let us know how the audio levels are, because, again, new studio. Yeah, audio levels could be a little off, but we've got 8 people hanging in chat already.
We'll figure out eventually.
Yeah, so we got, again, I'll take Connor Zillich. I think he's probably, I think it's going to be, again, I think the winner's going to come from one of those top three. Although, super biased pick here, I would love to see Carson Kvapil get it done. We got after he came on my channel last year in the month of August. Would love to see him get the win here today, but
I wonder how many Fords are in this race today.
All right, well, let's go ahead and see how quote unquote many Fords are in this race. Answer: not many.
That's what I'm wondering, because I see a lot of Chevys. I've seen one Ford.
Yeah. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Fords in the entire field out of 39 cars.
That's
so
I'm not surprised on that.
About 1/8 of the field today will be Ford-powered cars.
It looks like it's mostly Chevys.
Yeah, well, Toyota only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars in the field. So there's a total of 12 cars that are not Chevys out of 39.
If you had to choose between a Chevy, Ford, or Toyota to race with, what would you choose?
I don't know. I think the Toyota Supra looks really cool that they race in the Xfinity Series level. So I'd be hard pressed not to pick a Ford Mustang, because I think the Mustang, especially at the Cup level, is probably the coolest looking of the 3 cars. But I'd be hard pressed not to say a Toyota Supra.
Yeah. Well,
Especially because we have one guy that we work with who parks a Toyota Supra in our side lot and right next to where I work all the time, and it's like, how do you work at Walmart and afford a Supra?
that's a good question.
Because it's not even one of our team leads or anything.
I'm guessing parents' money.
Yeah, probably.
I wouldn't doubt it.
By the way, can you just shut the door behind you? Yeah. There we go. But yeah, so we should have a pretty good race still ahead of us. A 15-turn layout here.
I haven't
pass
seen
me
this
my
yet.
phone.
You want it off?
Yeah, it should have gotten decent amount of
I'll
power.
plug it back in when you're done.
Yeah, let me go ahead and throw up a. Yeah, I'm hoping that we'll be able to get a third monitor at some point. That way we can have a
Like
an
track
extra
layout.
Yeah, an extra screen for me, even just to show you things.
While we're streaming and everything.
Yeah.
That would be good, but
I'm trying to see if I can find the exact one the exact configuration NASCAR is using. There it is. Alright, so as they start to roll the cars out, I'm going to hide away the leaderboard for a second while I go and show, I'll go show Robert the track layout. So right there is the track layout that we've got here today.
this turn right here is gonna be the main factor.
Yeah,
on that.
so they're racing the red layout is what they're
but
running.
Look how stiff that is.
Yeah, I still can't believe that this over here is considered a corner. Yeah,
That's not even a corner. That's like a bend.
yeah, but yeah. So they're I don't know if that's the exact layout they're running because I thought they have a switchback in there as well. So that might not be the exact layout. That might be an older layout, but yeah, that's roughly the shape. I think they are going to use some of those gray lines over there in that kind of oval section.
Probably put pit.
No, nope.
Or is
just as
pit
part of the
right
track.
along?
Yeah, yeah. Pits are right alongside the start finish line. So
It's a weird track.
oh yeah, road courses definitely are. Is there more drivers in this race? Yeah, there are 39 drivers in the race in total. We've got the top 10 on the board for you. And definitely interesting to see all the Cup Series drivers that have decided to play some double duty today and tomorrow. We got tygibbs, Christopher Bell, who will both be running double duty, along with the driver of the number 9 car, which is Daniel Suarez. So there we go. Again, we're just chilling out. Hopefully, everybody's having a good time. On.
Does that say Chilango?
Yeah, that's the name of the race. The Chilango. I'm sure there's probably a more Spanish one. Who do you think CeeLo will pick tomorrow because there's no Denny Hamlin? Well, I really don't know. I mean, he very well could just go SVG because I think SVG is going to be most people's favorite. So yeah, here's the track layout that they're going to go through turn by turn. So yeah, turn 1 here for. And that's going to be one of the best passing zones. Is going to be down into turn 1 because that's going to be where they're going to be carrying the most speed.
Turn 2 will be a little sketchy, but it's possible.
Yeah, that's where they're going to carry the most speed from. So being able to maximize your speed, brake later, dive in deeper into the corner.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely is going to be a weird one tomorrow without Denny Hamlin in the field. after making his 701st career Cup Series start last week.
Turn 12 will be interesting.
Yeah. So that was the section that they didn't have on that map, where I said that they have that little squiggly bit through the stadium section.
I'm wondering if that's going to be like the main crash area.
Yeah, I'm sure there will be at least one person turned around in there, and there's very little runoff area there. But so
almost 2.5 miles long.
Yeah. Denny Hamlin, though, ultimately opted to stay home as his son was born on Wednesday, and he would have needed to have flown out on Thursday morning to make it to Mexico on time, which just wouldn't have been feasible, especially on in case of an emergency. He didn't want to be out of the country if they needed him back there in a hurry. But he has already had a waiver approved by NASCAR, so he'll be back. So there we go. Who's everybody thinks winning in Dark Horse? Well, for my winner, I'm definitely taking Connor Zilic. And for a Dark Horse pick, let's go ahead and go Nick Sanchez for a Dark Horse pick. I think Nick Sanchez could be a little bit of a surprising one.
So I went with Sammy Smith.
Yeah.
Dark Horse? I never heard of that before.
Underdog winner. Underdog pick, so.
I'll go with Austin Hill for underdog.
Honestly, I'd almost say that Austin Hill's more of a front runner than the guy you picked.
We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, some other good underdog picks though that are that are around the field. You've got guys like Austin Green, who only comes in for the road courses, so he could be a potential one. Andres Perez de Lara, who is I believe he's had a lot of. I think he's had some sports car experience in his past. IndyCar driver Sage Karam who's running the 53 today. He's got road course experience. LeBay is a traditional road course guy as well, starting a little deeper in the field. And then there's some guys down here who I haven't heard the names of before, but my guess is that some of them might be from the Mexico Series, like Ruben Ravello. Might be a Mexico Series driver. And
there might be a few.
And the hometown kid, Daniel Suarez, making double duty today and tomorrow, as he will be starting shotgun on the field today for the NASCAR Xfinity Series race. Suarez faces challenge with some team. Yeah, Suarez's team, along with the Haas team, all had some flight delays. Had to take a bus down to Atlanta to catch a different flight, but yeah, they all made it there. They did delay the practice sessions from early in the day on Friday to Friday afternoon, but all the teams have gotten there, and they are fully ready to put on a good show this weekend. So should be all set up and ready for this one. All right, so there we go. Would love to see Jesse Love get this one done, because I think it would give some more legitimacy to him as a potential Cup Series contender in the future. He started making some Cup starts earlier this year, but up to now, it really just has not. Yeah, he's been basically a super speedway or bust kind of guy. So.
Want to do your poll that you normally do before the race actually kicks off fully?
Yep. right, so there we go. We got the poll up for who do we think is going to win this one. Do we think it's going to be Zilich, Gibbs, Bell? And I also left a slot in there for other. So if you think someone other than those three is going to win, there we go. Jesse Love can't hear his team. Uh-oh, that's not good. So here we go. Pace car is off. Field in the hands of the 88 and the 19 here as they roll to the green flag. And it is going to be green, green, green. Green flag is out, and they are away with the race. Yeah, and they are taking off down the second longest straightaway in the NASCAR Cup Series today. And it's a second longest straightaway on the entire circuit right now. Heading down towards turn one. Tygibbs in the black car, going to try and get alongside the 88. And it's a Quapple staying close as well, waiting for a mistake. But right now it is very much a clogged up racetrack here, so it's going to be a tough one to get through.
It's going to be a lot of rubbing.
Yep, especially early on, because this is a very close quarters track.
Oh, yeah, look how narrow this stretch is.
Yeah, well, and they've got double the amount of cars that F1 usually brings. They've got nearly 40 cars when F1 usually only brings 20 cars to the track. Yeah, when they race. And go.
Tygibbs took first.
Yeah, Tygibbs was able to clear Connor Zilich as they head down towards the stadium section here. And it looks like Carson Quapple actually going to be able to get out ahead of Christopher Bell as well before they get down into the stadium section here. So almost everybody, it seems like, trying to get single file out potentially. Although here comes Christopher Bell going to dive it up the inside on the one here as they head into the stadium section here. No, Quapple was able to get back ahead. And Christopher Bell almost got spun by the car behind him. Oh, hey, look, it's Sammy Smith almost spinning out Christopher Bell on
I was about to say that's
one.
Sammy.
Yep, good old Sammy there. Off of the first lap, though, and it looks like it's actually going to be Zilich leading the first lap, I think. No, timing and scoring is saying Tygibbs. Yeah, they are nose to nose. That is for sure. I thought Zilich had that lap led, but no. Tygibbs was able to battle back and lead it by 0.037 of a second. And a lot of contact there as Zilich goes off course. Zilich goes off course, and that is going to give a massive advantage here now to Tygibbs. I'm curious to see that one again to see if that was if Tygibbs just ran him off the road or if that was a mistake by Zilich. That would
it was a bumper kiss and ended up going off, so he wouldn't end up colliding.
Yeah, that would be a rare mistake by Zilich if that is a Zilich mistake. So here we go. Here's the replay. Zilich goes up the inside.
Inside corner panel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, Tygibbs definitely. I mean, without Tygibbs there, I think the 88 makes the corner every single time.
Well, I don't think it was intentional spin, but
yeah, I mean that's just Tygibbs
went off just to get away from it.
Yeah, but yeah, no penalty because there won't be a course cutting penalty because of the fact that the guy was literally just run off the road here. And now we got 3 Junior Motorsports teammates under a blanket here: the 8, the 1, and the 88.
One would have went off the course a little bit.
Yep. So here we go. I will say I probably have to figure out a way to hardwire the TV connection because we're getting a lot of buffering.
Yeah.
Alright, there we go. Let's see.
Shocking, we didn't have a crash within 3
Okay,
laps.
let's not be hating on the race before we've even seen 3 laps completed here.
Like, I don't have the chat up.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, this race should never be a race again. We are literally 3 laps into the race. Like, yeah, logistics are a thing. But yeah, so far though, Christopher Bell with the fastest lap of the event so far, although Tygibbs leads this one.
Like, I can understand it as an F1 track, but not for these type of cars, no.
Well, again, I'm willing to wait it out, see how the first year goes, but yeah, I mean, if you're saying that, they shouldn't race here just because logistically it's a little bit tougher, I mean, then yeah, they should just run all all 40 or all 38 races right in Charlotte, so they never have to travel again.
Don't tempt me. They probably would.
Yep. So here we go. Again, we're working our way through this one. Currently wrapping up lap number 3 here. Now they do run in Charlotte. Yeah. Oh, there's Sam Mayer going into the tire barrier there. Actually, it looked like a fairly gentle hit compared to some of the other hits. He didn't go nose into the wall, so I think he'll be able to continue, which is the biggest thing with a crash like that is that, hey, as long as you can continue, you can try and drive your way back through it.
It looked like a gentle hit, but it also looked like he spun out.
Well, let's see what happened here. Did someone hit him or did? Oh no, he just
over-rotated.
Yeah, he just wheel hopped it into the corner, slid it, and went square into the wall again.
He basically said hi to the wall.
Yeah, it definitely was a high speed impact, but the fact that he hit it square on the side, he ends up with a better situation in the end.
Better than the front end. That would have hurt.
Yeah, if he'd gone nose in, that would have hurt. If he went nose in or rear end in, I think the race is done.
His tires.
Yeah, well, he'll come to pit road. He'll get at least 2 fresh tires. Pull the side panels out to try and get the clearance here, but yeah, just a simple wheel hop mistake there into the corner from a driver who is not exactly he's not necessarily thought of as the road course guy.
Let's see how far behind he comes in after this pit stop.
Yeah, and he'll start tail into the field because I don't anticipate anybody else coming to pit road here.
We both thought he got tapped.
Well, I thought that there was the potential that he could have gotten tapped, but yeah, no, he just wheel hops it into the corner and goes for a slide. So there we go. They're going to start working on getting that side panel pulled out. I believe they have 6 or 7 minutes, I think, before they have to before they will get told that you have to go to the garage to finish out your repairs. And the 70 of Thomas and Ezekiel also went around. Yeah, right ahead of Daniel Suarez there, as Suarez was making his way through the field.
Look where Sammy Smith is in 3rd.
Yeah, Sammy Smith's right in 3rd place. Zilich in 4th, so not a lot of movement, honestly, throughout the top 10. I feel like the top 10 are mostly the same guys that they were. Well, yeah, they can't be passing right now. Yeah.
But being a caution, they can't even pass. So
how many drivers do you think are using backup cars? I mean, the road course car on its own is usually a very different car to what they run at the other tracks anyway. So,
but
I mean, I think these are all their primary road course cars. Because I think these drivers all want to maximize the points they can earn while they've got the chance. I mean, it wouldn't make any sense for them to not bring their best possible car. I mean, unless they were worried about wrecking it, but a wreck could happen anywhere. And yeah, there's another replay of that wreck where the 19 just sent the 88 through the grass.
Went inside on one side, and then after that turn, he went on the side of a different side.
Yeah. So there we go. I'm going to say our first caution flag of the event here. And so we've got 20 laps in stage 1, 20 laps in stage 2, and then the final 25 laps to the end of the race.
How it's looking, it's going to drag by.
Yeah, well, these laps are certainly not going to be quick ones here.
Nope.
Hey, Rebecca, how's it going? We've got Robert here. He's one of my friends from work. We've also done a couple of these. We've done, 1 or 2 races before the flood?
I think, like 3.
Okay, we did 3 before the race.
4. I want to say
I know we both go to the local dirt track. We also went to the dirt track a couple times as well. So.
Oh yeah, especially with the sprinter cars. Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, they had opening night the other night, but I was busy getting this room set up. So there we go. Sam Mayer's car is the Austin Dillon car that he used in Chicago. Are you talking about the car Dillon used when he raced Chicago last year? I don't know when I don't even remember Austin Dillon running Chicago last year, but that was also a year ago now. But yeah, we should be getting this one pretty well set up. Definitely going to be needing to hardwire the TV into the
Wi-Fi,
into the internet, so that we can stop the buffering, because this buffering is going to cause a lot of annoyance, and we're probably going to be way behind where we normally would be.
But I got the green from what the screen says.
Yeah. You know, come on, this is so annoying. Never used to have this much of a problem with the TV down here before. Go again. We'll be back with the race as soon as we can. They have gone green here. Come on.
Actually, tygibbs is still holding the lead.
Yeah, tygibbs is able to hold on to the lead so far. Christopher Bell in second. Yeah, Zillage has actually dropped to fifth here. But yeah, we are having just a couple of technical difficulties here. We will be back with the race here shortly. Connor Zillage jumps up to third as they complete the first lap off the restart. That's the thing about the leaderboard, that it only updates at the end of each lap.
Yeah.
So, especially at road courses like this, we'll only get updates when they actually cross the line.
Just bear with us.
Yep. All right. Temporary fill-in. We've got the phone up here for it, as we got a yellow car coming down to pit road. Not sure what car that is. Is that the number? That's the 51 of Jeremy Clements, as the hood's going up. The hood's going up on the 51. Ah, man. So Jeremy Clements on pit road with the hood up. That is unfortunate. You hate to see that for him. As Zillage has made his way back up to third place. Christopher Bell still holding the fastest lap of the event so far. But yeah, so but when your fastest lap is still only an average speed of about 92 miles an hour, I mean, it's definitely not going to be the fastest race of all time.
Yeah, at least they're going over 90.
There we go. Yeah, I mean, obviously, throughout on these straightaways, they're going faster than that, but you know, when you factor in the slow speeds of the corners, is here we go. Zillage looking up the inside, now the outside of the 24 of Christopher Bell. Trying to do anything he can to try and make this one happen. Yeah, so it's just having communication issues. Yep. Again, not overly surprising.
Hopefully it works now.
Yeah, we'll see. Oh, and the 25 of Harrison Burton got turned around. Harrison Burton got turned around there. Yep. Well, I think that was a replay that I just saw, so hopefully they'll show it more than once, but
they normally do it sometimes.
Alright, but yeah, so again, this stadium section though is definitely an interesting one with the fact that they've got like 2-3 corners right in front of everybody. Alright, there we go.
Alright.
So we've rejoined the race on the big TV. We got we're currently 8 laps in, closing in on halfway in the stage here.
Didn't even feel like it.
Yep. And I say Gibbs is actually taking the fastest lap award away from Christopher Bell here. Waffle slipping just a little bit further as Jesse Love has actually entered the top 5. So Jesse Love on the move a bit here. He moved his way up to 5th.
And a buffer.
Yep. Alright, so here we go. Connor Zilic up into 2nd place here, passing Christopher Bell. And now it's going to be on Bell to see if Bell can try and move back ahead of him. Again, it's Bell's teammate up ahead of him, Tygibbs, in the other Toyota. Although actually not technically teammates in this race. Yeah, because the 24 and 26 are their own team with Sam Hunt Racing versus the 19 Gibbs at Joe Gibbs Racing. But they'll both be driving for Joe Gibbs Racing tomorrow, and I guarantee they're acting as if they're teammates today. We go. Let me see if I can at least get the subtitles going, because those can sometimes help us be able to keep up with what's going on. Yeah, the buffering is annoying. There we go. We got the subtitles up at the top of the screen now. So yeah, they've run, and I say they can run it. I believe they can make it on fuel all the way to the end of the stage. So the normal math would be that you run to the end of the stage, collect your points, and then pit. But given how long this road course is and how some of these drivers like Gibbs and Bell don't really care as much about points, could we see both drivers potentially? Alright, so there we go. Again, we're just chilling out here. Is there any R word coming this weekend? It is the rainy season for Mexico. We've not seen any rain as of yet, but because it is a road course, they would actually be able to race in a fair amount of rain. So.
Unless it's heavy.
Yeah, unless it's heavy, but at the very least, it's not like rain is an automatic stoppage. Alright, so here we go. 10 down, 10 to go in stage 1. So again, Tygibbs has been holding on pretty well. I'm curious if when Zilic gets back to his rear bumper, if he's going to pay Tygibbs back for having run him off the fence or off the road, I mean, but as of right now, I have no idea what the 88 may be thinking. so we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time.
Wow, it's a miracle. Ford's actually in the top 10.
Yep. Yeah, especially considering the Ford was the first caution of the day with Sam Mayer going for a spin. Because he was up in the top 10 when the spin happened. Here we go. Alright, so here we go again. We're just chilling out here. Well, at least it's a side-by-side commercial, so if anything does happen, we should be able to see it. As here we go, Taylor Gray making a move on Justin Allgaier. The 54 of Taylor Gray looking to try and find a way to pass the side of Allgaier. There we go, man. Man, this buffering is making it really hard to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta get that figured out for tomorrow.
Yeah, this buffer's really bad.
Yep. Alright, come on. There we go. Alright, so yeah, right now we got Zilich breathing all over the back bumper of the 19 here, putting all this pressure on him as he pops out of line, trying to figure out a way to try and get around him. So far, tygibbs playing very good defense. He doesn't fall for the first or the second push. Alright, so there we go. Again, right now the 88 of Zilich making some good moves, but so far the 19 of Gibbs been able to hold on to this lead. Alright, so here we go. Down through these corners. Again, the 24 Bell trying to make everything happen here. Question is do we see, when do we see people potentially try and pit for the end of the stage being a big thing? Alright, so again, tygibbs doing a really good job of holding this lead, especially with another road course ace like Zilich breathing down his neck.
Yeah, you got Zilich, then you also got Sammy Smith right behind him.
Yeah, Sammy Smith looking to try and figure out. I'm assuming that we might see a pit stop here from the 24.
One of them. Oh
no, the 24 goes for a spin. Never mind. 24 goes for a spin, but because of where it happens, it's in a good spot where he was able to stay out of the way, and he manages to knock around. So there we go. And say 24 goes for a spin, and now he's going to try and see if he can complete it with the spin and win.
He over rotated on that one.
Yep. Again,
88 just kissing the bumper. I think he's gonna try to slingshot pass.
Alright, so here we go. We've got ourselves working through this one. 7 laps to go here. Here's the mistake that happened for the 24. And yeah, he just got a bit of that rumble strip and just lost the car as he went off the rumble strip. Alright, there we go. Yeah, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time.
Sometimes on those turns they over rotate and just wipe out.
Well, that's part of learning the track. Alright, here we go. Allgaier's on pit road. Justin Allgaier's made his way to pit road here. So, Allgaier coming to pit road from inside the top 10. I'm curious to see what that ends up resulting in. Come on. So Allgaier getting his 4 tires and fuel, gonna get this one hooked up and ready to go. So far, though, Christopher Bell is already back up into the 7th position, so he manages to avoid losing a ton of spots. Pretty close to back. Come on, this lag is killing me. And oh, it's Allgaier going straight to the garage.
He might be out.
That's a good sign that his day is likely done, especially.
He just got spun.
Yeah, the 8 of Sammy Smith goes around, and that's going to be another hit to him. Come on, man. I'd even accept like a 30-second delay if it meant we would be smooth, but.
Is the bathroom done down here?
No.
I gotta go upstairs.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll be right back. Let me know what I missed.
Yeah. Here we go again. Sammy Smith will re-enter the track after losing some ground here. Alright, here we go. Alright, so. There we go. I think we've got as best an idea as I've got for right now. I've just basically went and casted my phone up to the thing. So, since for whatever reason it seems like my phone can get decent signal down here, but the Roku can't. The Roku stick couldn't for whatever reason. So, alright, so right now we got Suarez making his way on through. Of course, trying to stream from the phone up to the thing. It's gonna destroy resolution, but we'll have to put up with it for now. And again, tygibbs continuing to excel here, although Zilich actually did grab the fastest lap award during that lag spike here. Only 4 laps ago, now 3. 3 more times around. Yeah, if Gibbs is going to pit before the end of the stage, next time will be the chance. Zilich will likely stay out for the stage points. Christopher Bell comes to pit road now. Christopher Bell will come to pit road here this time by. As, yeah, we've got our... Alright, here we go. Alright, so Christopher Bell coming down pit road. There we go. That's actually a little better. Wow. Just gonna set the phone down and hope that doesn't mess anything up. There we go. Yeah, we got Daniel Suarez on pit road. We got Sheldon Creed coming in the 00 on pit road as well. A lot of guys coming for their pit stop here just before the end of the just before the end of the first stage here.
I'm back. Did I miss anything?
Pit stops have started here. tygibbs, if he wants to pit, will have to pit this time by. Okay, come on. Alright, there we go. Alright, so 3 laps to go here. And oh! Daniel Suarez gets blocked in his pit box by Dean Thompson in the 26. That's unfortunate there. That's going to cost him some time, which he did not need since he was already struggling on his way from the back to the front. So, oh, Suarez actually hits a tire that a crew member was carrying. The crew member appears to be okay, which is obviously first and foremost when you go and hit a crew member. But yeah, man, Suarez got blocked in here. tygibbs will hit pit road as he comes to the as he comes to 2 to go, which when he crosses that 2 to go mark would signal the end them closing pit road here. But it looks like Carson Kvapil may have stayed out here for the point. So yeah, Carson Kvapil to the race lead. So Carson Kvapil jumps up to the lead. Taylor Gray to second. Jesse Love to second. Taylor Gray to third. Austin Hill to fourth. Nick Sanchez up into the top 5. Brandon Jones, Sage Karam in 6th and 7th. Matt DiBenedetto, Jeb Burton, and Alex LeBay will round out your top 10 here, it looks like, so far throughout the first 2 stages. There we go. Alright, so again, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time. Again, we are sorry about the buffering. We really can't do much about it. But here we go. Oh, Zilich was able to actually beat tygibbs out the pits. This is looking very familiar to when tygibbs punted the 88 in the set of corners, but this time they get through that clean. Again, tygibbs going to be looking for a chance to try and get by the 88. The 88 team just a little better on pit road, ends up getting them the lead over tygibbs. So there we go. We have got ourselves a chance. Again, Carson Kvapil, Love, and Gray at the front of the field. It's a strong front. Alright, so again, Carson Kvapil is actually doing a really good job out in front of the field after running inside the top 5 most of this one. Alright, so there we go. And the 2 of Love and the 54 Gray both trying to do their best here. Gray was better than last year. so there we go. Again, we're just chilling this one out. Hopefully, we'll get to the end of the stage here. Man, this buffering is just killer. First part is there just is not much I can really do about it, unfortunately. Now, let's see if I can get this to actually like work the way I intended it to. But yeah, Carson Quapple will win the stage here. Alright, so there we go. Again, stage 1 winner, Carson Quapple. Yeah, second will be Gray Love. Austin Hill getting 4th place points. Nick Sanchez finding his way to the top 5. Brandon Jones, Karam, DeBenedetto, Burton, and LeBay, the other drivers earning points. Christian Eckes, the first driver to miss out on points here. Alright, so there we go. Do cast it from my phone to the TV, see if that'll work better. Come on. Come on. This is annoying. Alright, well, again, we are just having technical difficulties here, guys. We will be hopefully getting this thing going for stage number 2. But, yeah, so far this has just been a lot of technical difficulties here. Alright. Alright, there we go. We at least have an advertisement, I think. There we go. We've got actual TV action here. Still a commercial break, so still coming back from the commercial break, so you guys have not missed a thing yet. We are also under the caution flag, so no positions can even really change here until they open pit road.
Now another 20 lap stage.
Yep, another 20 laps, then a 25 lapper to end this one. I will say the crowd actually looks pretty decent for a NASCAR Xfinity Series race. Yeah, in another country apart from say the U.S. based NASCAR doesn't typically race in. Promising to see how many fans have turned up for this one. Hopefully NASCAR will be able to make some new fans here with this group. Alright, so yeah, we're just chilling out here. Hopefully everybody's having a good time and we're buffering again. Alright, so there we go. Again, the Circuit of the Americas race earlier this year was the one and only road course so far for the Xfinity Series guys. And the 88 of Zilich sat on the pole position and won the race. So hard to believe that he won't be a contender today, as he is going to be restarting a little even field after that strategy call. But all right, so here we go. All right, let's see if we can get back racing here shortly. Hopefully, at least we can maybe be done with buffering. I'm gonna run and use the bathroom real quick if you want to keep the crowd entertained. Still buffering quite a bit.
Yeah, still buffering quite a bit. We're still in a caution, so.
Yeah, well, caution period that a long track like this are gonna, a long slow track like this are gonna be long.
Yeah.
That's just kind of part of it. Yeah, no internet connection. And it's struggling to get the internet. Kind of what I thought it might be for a problem.
Top three's Quapple and Gray and Hill.
Yeah, and they're all on pit road right now getting their pit stop stuff.
Yeah. Oh.
No.
So you grabbed that from your room?
From the living room, but
Uh,
it's a better version. If it works better, we'll use it the rest of the race, and if not, we know that just this isn't enough.
Hopefully, it's enough.
Yeah, hopefully.
I like how my underdog pick is in third.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah.
Although that is an underdog pick. Although granted, picking Austin Hill as an underdog is like picking the Kansas City Chiefs as your underdog. Alright, so there we go.
Oh, now it's Gibbs and Bell. After that lap.
Yep. And we'll see if this is enough to fix the problems.
Hopefully.
Yep. Hopefully. So again, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, Zilich has retaken the lead of the race. Tygibbs up to. Tygibbs led 18 laps in a 20 lap stage, and he didn't win those stage.
He was getting close to overtaking him. It's just those turns.
Well, he opted to pit. He gave up winning the stage in order to pit earlier. That way he could cycle back to the front. Notice how a lot of the guys who pit, I mean, even Daniel Suarez, who got blocked in on his pit stall, still up into the top 10. So, but yeah, so far this looks a lot better so far. And honestly, I think the picture quality is better too.
Yeah,
significantly.
Not as much.
Yeah, no buffers yet. Let's see. Got a podcast meeting at 8:15. Hopefully this race is not still going at that point.
Wait, podcast or someone's podcast?
Yeah, podcast meeting, because there's been a lot of stuff going on with the podcast. A lot of stuff I don't need to bring up while we're live on air. I'll fill you in later if you want to be filled in. Yep.
Okay.
But yeah, this crowd though looks amazing. So there we go. There's all 5 Ford drivers in the field. Yeah, and the fact that like, I will say it's pretty cool that each one has a different charity on board with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mayor
Metallica
of the
Foundation, really. You've seen Metallica Foundation?
Yep. And then say one of them out there with the Sheldon Creed's got the Friends of Joy or Friends of Jocelyn foundation there. So it's pretty cool to see see some of these young guys getting involved with some of these charities. Obviously, the Friends of Jocelyn is a charity actually run by Cup Series driver Kyle Busch and his wife Samantha. So yeah, cool to see all the activity from the Cup drivers and Xfinity drivers, and when it comes to charity work. There's the 88 beating the 19 off the pit lane. So now the 88 will be the control car. Lights are off on the pace car. We are ready to go back racing. I forgot we needed to end the pole one thing because that was the end of stage one. I'm not even going to bother doing a poll for stage 2. I'm just going to use stage 2 to wait it out and see if we have any problems, and we'll probably put up a poll for stage 3.
We'll just make a poll for the last stage.
Yep.
You want to do that?
Oh, we'll make that once we kind of get through this one. If we get another caution mid-stage, then yeah, I'll do that during that break, but we'll be going green here. They're coming down towards the final set of corners here.
Hopefully we don't get any more cautions. It's been a long one.
Yeah, well, that's the problem because like we've only had 6 caution laps total, and we're guaranteed at least one more caution for the end of the second stage. But here we go, green flags out. We are back to racing, and here we go. The 88 and the 54. Sorry, I wouldn't say the 54 because that's
19.
Yeah, the 88 and the 19 because tygibbs, he drove the 54 in this series back when he was a regular down here, and then he also drove drives the 54 on Sunday, and into the back bumper of Sammy Smith goes the 19. So a lot of contact here through this one. Daniel Suarez finds his way up into the 3rd position. Tygibbs all the way back in 5th. So Tygibbs with a pretty bad restart here, but Zilich able to get away cleanly here. Bell into 2nd, 3rd is going to be Suarez. 4th, Sammy Smith. Sammy's right there in the mix. And then we got Tygibbs in the 19. He's going to find a way past Sammy Smith there. Sammy Smith drops to 5th as the 19 moves his way up into 4th place here. So again, this big 4, you've got 3 Cup Series drivers and Connor Zilich leading the field at 18 years old. I mean, that is an astounding stat. I mean, Connor Zilich is a really impressive kid. He's already won the 24 Hours of Daytona twice.
That's a long race.
Yeah. Yeah, he won it as a 17-year-old and an 18-year-old. He's won it the last 2 years in the GTD division.
To win it at 17, that's, I can give him respect on that one.
But not for winning it again at 18?
No.
But yeah, so.
He said, though, I'll give him respect on winning it as a teenager.
He also won in the Xfinity Series in his very first start ever in the Xfinity Series.
Which is normally never happened.
I believe that was the first time in series history, I think, that they'd had a first-time winner in their very first attempt.
Like their first race debut and win.
Yep. Yeah, and at the Cup level, I think it's only happened a handful of times. Ironically, most recently happening at Chicagoland, or at the Chicago Street Course a couple years ago with Shane Van Gisbergen.
Let's see how long before someone spins out. Not getting hit, just spins out by overturning.
Yeah, well, that's gonna be the thing about getting on the brakes a little too late here. And okay, that 48 looks way too similar to the car he's chasing.
Yeah, I know. I was about to say, are they twins?
Yeah, nope, not even teammates. But yeah, Nick Sanchez is my dark horse pick here. He's still hanging out in and around Quapple, but Quapple is the stage 1 winner. Is all the way back in 17th currently.
Suarez is in 3rd.
Yeah, Suarez is in 3rd, currently under attack by Tygibbs here. We're riding on board with the rear bumper of Suarez's car. And that Toyota Supra of Tygibbs, he's going to want to get by there quickly so he can try and chase down the others.
Trying to put enough pressure on him.
Yeah. Well, he is putting a lot of pressure on Suarez, and Suarez is under even more pressure because he does not have a contract to drive past this year. This year could be his final year currently under contract. He's hoping to work out a new long-term extension with his current team. But as of right now, talks have been kind of stagnant.
Side by side.
Yeah, here comes Tygibbs down the inside.
He's
He's gonna clear him there into the corner. No! The 5 of Chris Wright has gone around.
I knew that was coming.
Please don't tell me he can't get going. If he can't get going, they're going to throw the caution. All right, let's see. Was it contact? Yeah, it was contact on Austin Green's part. Wow. For once, Chris Wright, the victim and not the perpetrator. Impressive. Normally,
how many races?
Normally, he's the one wrecking people. But, yeah, so there we go.
Interesting top 3.
Yeah. Yeah, again, you've got Christopher Bell, who's the oldest of them, and I think he might be closing in on 29 or 30 for Christopher Bell, and he's the oldest of the group.
I feel like 39 or something.
No, Bell's not that old.
Or 29, whatever.
Yeah, I think 29 is possible. Let me see.
I don't know their birthdays like that. Come on.
Yeah. But, yeah, Christopher Bell is someone I would still consider a young driver. Let's see. Okay, Bell turned 30 last December. He actually shares a birthday with a buddy of mine. There we go. And, Anthony Alfredo tags the fence. The Fast Pasta has tagged the fence, and he's now on pit road.
Alfredo.
Yep.
I don't know who named that person.
Well, that's his last name, so it's his family name has been passed down for years.
So is he related to pasta?
His ancestors probably were pasta makers back in Italy. Similar to how I got my last name. Yeah, going back generations to when people actually had to color their clothes, otherwise known as dyeing their clothes.
Or doing tie-dyes.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly where the term dyer comes from, is the name for a person who dyes your clothes. That's where a lot of jobs come from. People with the last name Smith typically worked some sort of blacksmith or woodsmithing business.
Oh, I don't know who would get the last name Dye. D-Y-E.
Same, probably the exact same type of base that my name is off of.
Probably.
Same type of thing, just slightly different. Probably because there was already a dyer in town, so they didn't want to have two people with the same last name.
If someone has the last name Love, I think they just love a bunch of people in their past.
Well, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But here we go. Oh, the 07 of LeBay was the reason that the 42 of Alfredo got forced off the track. And Alfredo is actually the standby reserve driver for tomorrow's Cup race for Alex Bowman, whose back is still.
Fun? 42 just fun, right?
That's a replay from earlier.
Over-rotated? Yeah.
He had a flat tire at that point. He'd already been shoved off course once. But, yeah, he's back on the track now, but... Yeah, he's the current reserve driver for the 48 in Cup, as Alex Bowman is still feeling just a little bit sore. They do have him on standby in case they need a backup driver for the NASCAR Cup Series race tomorrow. And speaking of backup drivers, we'll go ahead and talk real quick about Ryan Truex, who will be running in the NASCAR Cup Series race. Yeah, he and Denny Hamlin will be working together. Yeah. Alright, he'll be working with Denny Hamlin's crew. He's been working with Denny Hamlin the last couple of weeks, preparing to be this replacement driver, as we all knew it was coming with Denny Hamlin, and we'd been just kind of tiptoeing our way around the eventual birth of his son that was bound to happen, and it ends up happening on the 11th. So, again, congratulations to them. The baby was born healthy, so always good to see. Hope to see Denny Hamlin back at the track next week, but hopefully Ryan Truex can do pretty well in his absence this week.
11 out of 20 laps. 9 more to go.
Yep, 9 to go in the stage. We've crossed the halfway point. Tygibbs just took the fastest lap award away from Zilich there. There we go. Tygibbs able to steal away the fastest lap award.
He's been holding the fastest lap for a little while, and like most of the first stage, he was fastest lap.
Yeah.
'21 looks like he has a flat.
Yeah, 21. Yeah, he might have a tire going down. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No doubt. There is
That
definitely a
right
flat
front.
tire. Yeah. Right front.
Hopefully, he doesn't over rotate and spin out or go into anyone.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, let's see. Are they gonna show how his tire ended up flat?
That's what I'm guessing.
Did he run something over?
Smacked into someone.
Well, no, that's the 42.
And I don't know.
They didn't show the 21 in there at all on that replay. Alright, yeah, so 9 laps left to go again. This track, it certainly is no cakewalk here. There we go. There. Oh, wow. Yeah, a lot of smoke
It looked
coming
like
out.
an actual blowout.
Yep. That is a lot.
That's a lot of sparks.
Well, that's what happens when you scrape metal against asphalt. But yeah, so again, the prime for race car drivers, because that's the other thing when it comes going back to our conversation about the age of Suarez. And no, Carson Quapple goes around. No, Quapple, your stage 1 winner, Carson Quapple goes around.
Sounds like waffle almost.
Quapple. Which, granted, you would never guess that from the spelling of Kvapil.
It's kind of weird spelling, but doesn't even sound like it when you say it.
Yep. Well, that I know the pronunciation because of his dad, Travis Quapple, who was I believe the 2003 Truck Series champion, if I'm not mistaken. So, as I say, his dad definitely was a successful race car driver, although he never really developed into what I think a lot of people were hoping he would be. Not to mention he had some off the track issues that limited his driving time, but everything I know about Carson, he seems to be a pretty good kid. And certainly talented behind the wheel because he's been close to winning a couple of races already in his short career. So here we go. Sammy Smith trying to get closer to these Cup guys, trying to maybe make something happen here.
He made some good progress. He's in the top 5 now again.
Yeah.
After falling almost 15 down.
When did he fall 15 down?
I haven't seen him after he had that one issue, and I haven't seen him, so I'm wondering if he was 15 or something.
But yeah, so Sammy Smith, though, very quiet drive back up to the front here. But yeah, definitely curious to see what he'll do when he gets back up to these Cup drivers. Right now, we got ourselves a big tire lockup there by some car off screen. And oh wow, that's a busy looking car. I believe that's Sage Karam there who overcooked the corner, but got back on the track and avoided a course penalty.
I didn't see the number because of that color.
Yeah, I believe it's 53 on the side of that car.
It looked like a 6. I'm thinking 63.
Well, I don't think there's a 63, but I know there's a 53.
That's probably it. But it looked like a 63 to me.
Yeah. Well, some of these car numbers do look a little weird sometimes.
Hey, at least the numbers are not as weird as the names.
And what do you possibly mean by that?
You know what I mean by that. Some of these names are
There's
weird.
nothing weird about Bell.
Unless you want to ring a bell.
Or Suarez. Or Zilich.
That one's weird.
What? Sawalich?
Yeah.
Sawalich is not a weird... Okay, yeah, that's a weird name.
Or Christian
Eckes.
Yeah, that's weird. The last name. I never seen a last name like that.
Yep. Well, right now though we are, as I say, we're working our way through this one. 5 laps to go before the end of the second stage here. So Zilich though putting a pretty good beat down on the field here. Now again, the question is going to be: do they come to pit road again? Most of the field from Christopher Bell on back left to decide whether they want to pit when they come around on 3 laps to go. The 2 leaders have a slightly better edge because they can pit 1 lap later and still make it to pit road. Because the rule is that when the leader takes the 2 laps to go, the pit road closes for the end of the stage to avoid anybody waiting and pitting like right before the caution flies for the end of the stage. But it opens up an opportunity for at some of these road courses where you're not going to go a lap down by making a pit stop, that you can make this pit stop with 2 or 3 laps to go, and pit. So if you're the leader, you can pit 1 lap later because when you slow down, you know that you're not going to end up clipping the new lap. But for the guys behind you, they can't wait and just hope that they know you're going to come into the pits. A lot of them still have to rely on the fact that, well, he may stay out. I've got to pit 1 lap earlier. But yeah, so again, Suarez though, the native out of Monterrey, Mexico, he's doing all right for himself considering the fact that he started dead last on the entire field. He's made his way all the way up to 4th here.
And that's a lot of progress.
Yeah.
Especially from being 39th all the way to the 4th.
Yeah, especially at this track where it has not been an easy track to pass at. It's been a very tricky track to run.
Yeah, at least we haven't seen any 3 wide takeovers.
Yep. And depending on your work schedule, we might be able to do some more exciting, some more exciting ovals for you down the stretch.
I won't be able to do tomorrow's because I got a lot order and the race starts at 2.
Yeah, my dad and I are doing that one together anyway since it's Father's Day.
I forgot it was Father's Day.
Yep.
I gotta call my dad tomorrow.
Yep.
That's gonna be fun.
But yeah, so
I'll try to do it and be on a stream with you next week. I just end up going to Mass on the 24th.
So. Alright.
I'm gonna be out there for like 5 days.
Yeah, well, we'll talk more about that later, but yeah, just let me know which days work for you and I can try and
we'll figure it out.
Yeah, because that's the other thing with your availability being different than mine. And here we go, Quapple on pit road along with another car. They've got one. The rest of the field has about 1 more lap to decide to come to pit road. It looks like Christopher Bell and Suarez will probably be taking that opportunity here.
And Sammy Smith just moved up to 3rd from pits.
Yep.
He decides to go into the pits on right before lap 2.
Well, but yeah, he'd he'd have to be booking it to try and get caught up, and he'd have to rely on Zillage coming to pit road. But a lot of smoke coming out from underneath the 24 though of Christopher Bell as he makes his way to pit road. And it's like killing every bug in the Mexico area.
Oh man, you barely could see with that.
Yeah. And is he not even gonna make it to his pit box?
He's dead in the pit.
If he can't move at that point, I think that they may have to throw the caution to send a crew out to go get him, because that is a very dangerous spot to be sitting in.
Like I think he's dead in the water in there.
Yeah, and there it is, Christopher Bell, one of the best drivers all day. He was inside that top 3 all afternoon, and now it's looking like Christopher Bell may be done for the day.
I'm wondering what caused that.
Yeah, no idea. But yeah, a lot of smoke, and if his car is still generating smoke on that pit entry, that's going to be a nightmare to try and work around for all these drivers. Again, I would not be shocked if we do see a caution flag come here. Just throw the caution, end the stage. But here we go. Coming to 2 laps to go. Zillage and the 19 both choose to come to pit road here. 19 still sitting there. The smoke largely cleared up here. I'm thinking that might be partially because I think he may have run out of oil to burn off. But yeah, so the top 2 drivers coming down pit road. And it looks like, is Sammy Smith going to stay out and claim the lead, or did he also come to pit road?
I think he's claiming the lead.
Oh, let's see. Again, yeah, there we go. Sammy Smith passes Zillage, Creed, Gray, the top 3. And that is pit road officially closed. And looks like the 20 found some more steam here to burn off. So maybe I'm guessing that the teams have just told him, like, hey, just stay put in your car. Yeah, and we'll come get you at the end of the stage, letting them race it out to the end of this first stage or second stage here. But definitely certainly a choice. Not sure it's the choice I would have made, but
well, if your car is smoking like that, I wouldn't want to run it. Because that was some dense smoke coming from 24, so.
Yep. Yeah, you always gotta be worried when you see smoke, because where there is smoke, there's usually fire. Again, so far though, the front 4, we got some names we haven't talked about yet today. Brandon Jones in the number 20.
Creed.
Yeah, Creed up in the 00. Still looking for his first career win after a record amount of second place finishes without a win. He holds the record for most second runner-up finishes without a win in series history.
That's crazy.
And there's the 21 off track yet again.
How do you get off track? Like, you memorize the track.
They've only run 1 hour of practice and one lap of qualifying, basically. So that's not a lot of time to memorize this track.
Well, if they keep on doing these races, they'll end up getting used to their track eventually.
Yeah, well, they're going to make one trip a year, it sounds like. Which will hopefully start build up some of that muscle memory, but
I wonder if they're gonna ever make it longer or if they're just gonna stick with 65.
Yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see. Honestly, I think the distance is fine. I mean, the time of the race, it feels like it's going to be paced really well. It's going to be about a 2-hour event. I mean, hey, it fits into a 2-hour window.
Has a good lead.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, that's all going to go away here as he comes across the start finish line. He will claim the checkered flag here at the end of the stage. And stage winner, Sammy Smith.
Top three on the stage was Smith, Gray, and Creed. I'm surprised Gibbs is all the way down in 10th.
Yeah, well, you gotta remember, he and Zillage both just came to pit road at the end of the stage.
Yeah.
If you look in this very last column on our screen here, you can actually see the last lap that all these guys came to pit road on. So, yeah, they last pit at lap 16, some of them on 22, versus Zillage and tygibbs, who were both on pit road at 37.
Smith's probably going to have pit stop soon.
Yeah, I think anybody who didn't pit anyone whose last pit stop isn't in the 30s will probably be coming to pit road here now that they're under caution flag. Because under the caution flag, you do get an opportunity to come to pit road and pit while potentially losing less time. But you can lose more positions because they bunch everybody together.
So depending on how quick his team is, might lose a couple of places.
Yeah. So which day of the week normally works better for you? Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Friday I'm mid, so probably Saturday, Sunday, depending on the race times.
Alright. Well, for Saturday races, we got 3:30, 4:30, 4:30, 4:30, 4:30, 4:30, 4:30, 4:30,
So we have enough
3 p.m.
races that we can actually do.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of them at 4:30 if you're gonna get the if you'll get the 7 a.m. shifts, 7 to 4s.
Well, I'm gonna be doing this schedule for probably a while until they can get another day maintenance, probably.
Yep. Well, we'll have to wait and see.
Watch him never get one.
Watch him get one, and his name is Robert.
Hey, hear my name enough.
No, I mean they just use you as the new day person.
Oh, I would walk away.
Just like Paul did, probably.
No, I know what happened. I got told by a couple.
Okay.
I'll tell you. I'll fill you in later.
Yeah. Sometime when we're not on a hot light.
Yeah. Not when you get in trouble for anything.
Yeah, I just know his attitude was always terrible.
His attitude was okay sometimes. It's whenever he had a lot going on, he was moody.
I don't know. I mean, his attitude was never great. It was acceptable to some extent, but it was never great.
Depends on the day.
Well, yeah, and some days it was worse than acceptable.
Oh, I would be moody too if I hear my name every 5 seconds.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Next time you're working the morning shift, I gotta make a spill early.
I swear to God, I'll make you clean it. Knowing you, you'll probably dump a whole milk on the floor just so I can clean it.
So, but the real question is whether or not is how big of a mess can I make? What mess is the hardest to clean up?
I'm not answering that.
I'm thinking honey.
All I gotta do is just disinfect it and it breaks it up.
Alright. So what if I were to spill peanut butter?
Disinfect it in warm water, breaks
it
up. So.
Yeah, it's not impossible to clean up, but those would be some annoying
It would suck to get that off, but I can still manage to get it off. But
oh, and here we go, Christopher Bell, fresh out of the pit lane. see if we can get some closed captions because
I'm wondering if his engine just overheated.
All right, here we go. No, I did not miss a shift. I was worried about that. Don't know, just let go. So he doesn't even know what happened necessarily. The engine just let go on him. Gonna be a bummer. Gonna be a great run for the Sam Hunt Racing Group. The car did so. Yeah, I mean he. He felt he was a top car. He'll be a top car again tomorrow. I believe he rolls off from inside the top 10 tomorrow.
That'll be good.
Yep, get to put this race behind him a bit. Speaking of the starting grid for tomorrow, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about it. So, oh no, he is not starting inside the top 10 tomorrow. Where is Bell starting? 31st tomorrow.
So really close to the tail.
Out of 37 cars.
He must have been doing terrible on qualifying.
If you want to talk about names that are hard to pronounce, try that top one.
Gisselberg?
Shane Van Gisbergen.
McDowell. Oh my god, I haven't seen that name in a little bit.
Well, you haven't seen most of these names in a little bit because you haven't called a race here for a bit.
Yeah, and I'm getting some odd ones on this, and tomorrow's race has the most fun.
Allmendinger. Then we got Josh Berry. Herbst.
It keeps on getting worse and worse. Nemechek?
Yeah, Nemechek.
I was having a hard time freaking pronouncing that.
Yeah, then we got Stenhouse, Ware,
Bradson,
and Leg.
Leg with 2 G's, really?
Yep. Catherine Legg, she's normally a sports car and IndyCar driver.
It's like almost like Leg G.
I believe it's a European spelling, similar to how. Have you seen Europe's way of spelling tire?
No, I haven't. I don't even want to know. You're gonna show me anyways.
Yep.
Tyre?
Yep.
Don't they realize the Y is actually a simpler version for IE?
Nope. So yeah, they're down there cleaning up the. They went and put some speedy dry down to try and make sure that any oil that may have leaked as Bell's car gave way. So they get that cleaned up now.
Doesn't mess with their traction on their tires.
Yep.
That's all.
Oh yeah, what about that name?
Hostiver?
Yeah, Hocevar. Yep. You actually did that one pretty well. Then
Briscoe.
Yeah, yep. You knew Briscoe.
I remember you talking about that one. That was one of the popular ones we was talking about last time when we was filming in Talladega.
Yeah. Then we got the Connecticut kid Raheem Priest starting second tomorrow. Actually, there's a couple of Connecticut kids in the NASCAR ranks. Closest thing we have to a hometown driver these days.
Unfortunately, no main drivers can actually do it.
Well, we had one before he got injured at Talladega a couple years ago.
I don't even want to know.
And now he's running for office.
Yeah. Okay, so it went from NASCAR to freaking now going to try to be office. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Austin Terrio. He was a NASCAR Cup Series driver for a bit, and then after back injury at Talladega, sidelined him for the rest of his career. He made the move over into politics. Yep.
I don't see the logic of that.
Well, it's a political race versus a real race. They both do races.
Yes, but political races are mostly verbal races, and regular races are mainly the engine speaking.
Yeah, but to be a good race car driver, you have to be able to communicate well with sponsors and be people friendly and be brand friendly. Which
I know for a fact I would never be a race car driver.
You'd never be a politician either, because you'd
first word on my in my sentence would be probably a swear.
Yeah, you'd probably go just calling people an idiot, and you'd probably be right for calling them that, but
some people amaze me. Especially when we're at work, they never stop amazing me on how stupid they can be.
Yeah. Yeah, I had someone the other day that was calling to check in their order, and they were like, "Can I pick up my order now?" And it's like, "Your order is for 1:00. It is 12:15."
You have 45 minutes until your pickup time. Why the hell are you here early?
Yeah, well, then they were like, "Oh, well, I can just go inside and pick up my order." And it's like,
you'll still have to wait.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, I can just go to customer service and pick up my order." And it's like, no, you can't.
Hopefully I don't get a big pile of feces in the bathroom again. Yeah, and remember how you told me that I got lucky that I didn't have to clean something off the floor?
Yep.
Literally, one Friday I got pulled into the bathroom and someone ended up doing that. It was a nice mound of it.
Oh, fun.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, then there was the day before that incident with the person, we had someone calling and saying that their app wouldn't let them check in. It was 15 minutes before we opened for the day.
That's why you couldn't check in.
Yep.
Like, you guys weren't even opened yet.
Yep.
I think the first check-in is like, what, 6 o'clock?
7 o'clock is when they can use the first round of orders.
Yeah, because you guys normally go from like 5 o'clock.
Yeah, we gotta shop them first.
Yeah.
Here we go. Taylor Gray wins the race off pit road. So there we go. Taylor Gray gonna win the race off pit road. And we're gonna have ourselves about a 20-lap shootout here to the checkers.
Hey, where did Smith go?
Pit stop.
Must have been a bad stop.
Yeah, I'll have to wait and see, because I'm guessing that some of these guys may get cycled around, because all the guys who their position their last pit numbers are in the 30s should jump up, versus the guys who their last pit stop is in the 40s, because this current leaderboard that we have is showing them as they cross the start finish line, which some of them were on pit road as they did it, and others were still on the racetrack, but they just hadn't passed them all.
What is the best way to go about with the pit stop? 2 laps before, or?
Well, and that's I think that's a case by case scenario, because you got some drivers who are going to be in need of points, like, for example, Nick Sanchez in the 48 or Jeb Burton in the 27. Actually, I think Jeb Burton may have won a race already, so he might not need it. But yeah, so look, Nick Sanchez is 5 points below the cut line entering this race, so he needed as many points as he could. So staying out to earn as many of these points as possible makes sense for him. Meanwhile, Connor Zilic, who has already won a race, is locked into the playoffs. He can afford to pit 2 laps before to keep the track position and keep control of the front of the field.
So how do you get the points? That's one thing I don't understand.
So you get points. Points are awarded to the top 10 drivers at the end of the 2 stages. So the top 10 at the end of stage 1 earning points, and the top 10 at the end of stage 2 earning points. Then you earn points based on your finishing position as well. 40 points for first, 35 for second, 34, 33, 32. So
going down.
down. Yep. And then there's an extra bonus point that only just started this year that goes to the driver who has the fastest lap of the race, and that's why they have the fastest lap award tracker up there now. Is because there is
held by Gibbs for a while.
Yeah, it's been either Gibbs, Zilich, or Bell pretty much all race long.
Zilich and Gibbs are actually pretty tied on almost on laps led.
Yep. Yeah, Zilich has now gotten all the way up there. And if you look at their best laps, actually, yeah, Zilich has currently a little bit better of a best. Oh, I know Gibbs is a little bit better because that's speed, so the bigger number, the better.
Yeah.
For a second, I thought that might be second number of seconds of the lap because the laps around here are probably close to a minute and a half. But no, that's lap speed, not lap time. If that was lap time, smaller number the better.
I think you want to be the quickest through the lap, so I think the smallest probably.
No, in this case, because that one's best speed, so your best speed is going to be. Yeah, you're going to want the highest number because higher speed means faster.
Yeah. Round it up, he's at like 93.
Yeah, I mean, they're both in the 93 bracket. I mean, it's not a massive speed difference between those two. They are both very good. And lights are off on the pace car. We're ready to go back racing.
After 5 laps of freaking caution.
Yeah. So.
That's a lot of laps for caution.
Yeah, I mean, when you factor in that we've lost essentially a fifth, we've lost about 20% of the race so far to caution laps.
That's what it's almost like close to 1/6.
Well, I was talking about we've lost about a fifth of the current race distance because we've run about 50. We're closing in on 50 laps run, and we've run 10 caution laps.
What's crazy is in the third stage, we already went through 1/5 of the stage.
Yeah.
And caution.
Yep. That's right.
This is why I don't like this track. I don't think it's actually a good track.
Well, you probably say that about almost every road course then, because this is kind of a feature of every road course that they run.
It's just this one I don't get it, and kind of odd, and how they have it, and especially how they laid it out for this race.
Yeah.
Because instead of using that round, and they actually just made it that turn.
Well, I actually think the turns through the middle of the stadium, 1, gives the spectators something to watch, and 2, allows for more skill rather than the one wide sweeping corner that wouldn't really give the drivers a chance to show off as much driver talent. But here we go. Pace car is off. Field in the hands of Zilich and Gibbs as they get ready to go. Green, green, green. Green flag's out. We are back to racing. And let's see. What's it gonna be? Down to the start finish line. They're gonna be racing towards this first turn. Who's gonna be able to get there? Do we think it's gonna be Gibbs? Do we think it's gonna be Zilich? Side by side, here comes Suarez. Suarez on the outside. Suarez gonna try and make a 3-wide move down here. And Zilich goes around. Connor Zilich goes around and he manages to get it right-sided. And Sammy Smith goes around.
Another one got spin right off that corner.
So. Yeah, Sammy Smith goes around there. And, oh, no. The 41. Oh, massive damage to the 4. And we've got ourselves a massive caution flag here. The 19 of Gibbs is in it. The 19 of Gibbs is in it.
I think 4 might be out.
Oh, yeah. You think? I'm pretty sure his engine is not supposed to be sitting on the ground in front of the race car. Just saying, I think you typically want to keep the engine on the inside of the race car. And oh no, we're starting to see some raindrops too. But massive damage to both Zilich and tygibbs. So This is the costly part. If you
Yeah, but I think Zillich might lose a tire based
Well.
on his. Oh my god!
you had seen Gibbs'
Is that the
car yet.
muffler? I think that's the exhaust and that busted.
Yeah. So yeah, here's the replay. So
Oh my
Suarez
God.
with a great move to get around the outside.
Nice
Knew
save.
that he had to get there, but man. And oh, Quapple went around as well at the front of the field. I hadn't even seen that one. That's where tygibbs got most of his damage from, and then the
four right into.
yeah, and then the four just
right into Gibbs. It looked like.
yeah, he went right into the back of Gibbs because watch Gibbs and the one of the orange car here, because after he and Suarez went door to door there for a bit, these two are gonna spin off into this runoff area. If the camera didn't pan away from them, but granted, there were cars everywhere. Chaos and calamity everywhere. Well, we have something to talk about because now I think the options as to who could win this race are wide open. Suarez in a great spot here. Could we see Eckes or Gray? Taylor Gray has never won a NASCAR Xfinity Series race before. In fact, he's never won a NASCAR race, period. Christian Eckes, a former Truck Series winner. Yeah, he's made his way to the Xfinity Series level. He hasn't won an Xfinity Series race before. A couple of good options here.
Sanchez is in sixth. That would be a little bit.
He was my dark horse pick.
From chaos to caution.
Yeah, just a ton of wreckage here.
I couldn't tell if it was from Gibbs steering a car that got wrecked.
So here's the onboard with the 19. I believe they should go to the rear bumper camera right about now. Would probably be the right time to go to that rear bumper cam. Yep, there we go. This is and then they both get into that, get off in the runoff area, and then the 4 car later comes by and just drills the 19.
Oh man, look at that front fender damage. Holy
yeah, that is gonna be a lot of damage to be repaired on that one.
That one, it might definitely be out, and
I wouldn't put it past the 88 and the 19 both being out here.
Depending on what's wrong with the 19, it might be fixable, but I don't know.
Well, regardless, I think it's gonna take time, which that is the one thing I don't think they have. Yeah. I will say, I always love how crazy Suarez's helmets get. A lot of the time, especially around the Day of the Dead, he'll run a special Day of the Dead themed helmet. Giving a tribute to his culture here in Mexico. But yeah, so again, the 9 car from last to first at Mexico. I mean, hey, if he wins this race, I think that'll help jumpstart the conversations at the towards a new contract for him.
Even if he places top 3, he would probably be able to talk into a new contract. Said even if he places like top 3, he would probably be able to get a new contract.
Well, and that's where we kind of get into the problem because his team has 3 seats for 4 drivers. Because they've got 3 drivers. They have Ross Chastain, who's under contract for next year already, I believe. Yeah, and he is their staple driver. Then they've got Daniel Suarez, who's on the last year of his contract. You got SVG, who's who they brought in, and he's that last guy that won his first career Cup start. He's in his rookie year right now, and I believe he's on a 1 or 2 year deal. And then they've got Connor Zillich on a development contract with the promise that he would potentially get a Cup ride with them one of these days. So the question is, do they move Suarez out where Suarez is at the end of his deal for Zillich next year? Or do they potentially move SVG out for Zilich? Or do they just let Zilich sit in the Xfinity Series for a second year in a row? Personally, I think that the right move for Zilich's career would be to run to have him run the Xfinity Series another year or two while you really decide whether or not SVG is really worth the change. Because if SVG pans out to not be all that great at the road courses, then he won't be worth keeping around because he isn't really all that relevant on the oval tracks. I mean, there's a reason why he's as far down in points as he is.
All right, quick question: how many laps do you think we're gonna lose based on caution?
All of them.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But in terms of Cup Series points, though, Shane Gisbergen is 33rd out of 36 drivers in terms of points. 130 points away from a playoff position.
That's crazy.
Meanwhile, Daniel Suarez is 28th in points. Nearly double the amount of points that his teammate has. There we go. Alright, let's see what we got. So, but yeah, Brandon Jones is a driver who's been looking for something to really kind of prove why he's in that car, because he's gotten a couple of wins here and there over the years, but yeah, he's been in some of the best equipment for years, mostly due to the fact that he brings a lot of funding.
Right.
So here we go. Yep, Pocono next Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. That'll be a fun race. And yep, the Xfinity Series commentary booth. You got Allmendinger going to be in the booth for part of that. Okay. Kyle Busch in the commentary booth for the Atlanta race in a couple of weeks. All right, here we go. Let's see. Did the light go off on the pace car? Because if so, that means we'll be going green next time by. If it didn't, that means we're going for at least 2 more laps around. Come on, show us the race. Show us the pace car so we know if we're going another lap or not. I'm guessing at this point we're going another 2 laps.
If they're letting her talk, probably.
Well, I mean, honestly, again, talking about the food available at the Mexico race actually makes sense because, again, it's the first time the NASCAR's raced here in over a decade. I mean, 2008 was the last time that the Cup Series or that the Xfinity Series raced here, and Cup Series has never raced at Mexico. So I can't say that what they're cooking back there looks overly appetizing. Although I don't know what it is. And there's a guy chopping up a bunch of green onions there for something. Not sure if that's a topping for a chili dog or if that's for some other Mexican dish that I don't probably know the name of. But yeah, so lights are still on the pace car, so we're going for at least another 2 laps. So, yep.
Hopefully we don't lose a lot of laps. I still want to see some racing.
Yep. But yeah, so with both of the of those 2 down there, their other teammate is all the way up here, 8th in points, 20 spots better than either of his teammates, which is just insane. And that's a big part of why I think a lot of the contract negotiations have been a little slow here. As to okay, if you can't match what your teammate's doing, why should we extend you contract? I mean, I think there's plenty of real reasons to do it, but it's been a long day.
Oh yeah.
Alright, so here we go. Let's see. Are they doing the choose cone this time by? Let's see.
I want to say another lap.
Yeah, lights are still on the pace car, so they have not turned them off yet. So we're just continuing to pace here.
Our home track was long with cautions. Oh my god.
Well, and the reason why the home track feels so much longer with cautions is because they don't count caution laps at the local track level. Could you imagine if the caution laps weren't counting? Could you imagine how many laps we would have completed at this point?
Not as many.
If it was green flag laps only counting? Imagine if just all those yellows just didn't exist and we just moved the progress line back. We'd be maybe finishing up stage 1 right now, stage 2 right now.
It would be like similar to the junkyard race in our hometown.
Yeah. I do have a season pass now for this year, so I can go up there each and every week.
Yeah, unfortunately, I gotta work Friday, so I can't.
Yep.
Unless I save time and use some.
Well, at least I know I get to go see some racing. We're waiting out this caution flag here after a massive multitude of crashes, including both the 88 and the 19. The two cars that really dominated the majority of this race, both are currently out of this one. And we now have a whole new cast of characters at the front of the field.
We lost Gibbs, we lost
Zillage, we lost Bell. So we lost the big three from this race. We still have Daniel Suarez, who is taking over the lead. We got guys like Harrison Burton in the mix. Harrison Burton could be a fun one to see.
That would be an interesting one, too. I think.
Yeah. You know what would be a really fun storyline here in if we got a little bit of a Burton on Burton action. We have Harrison Burton and we got Jeb Burton down in 10th.
If they actually come close to each other, that would be really fun to watch.
I think what would be funnier would be seeing both of them go running to their dads after the race, trying to trying to explain, hey, who won?
One's playing tattletale.
Yeah, because they're not brothers.
Lights off on the pace car.
Yeah, lights are off. They've done the choose cone, so again, Suarez is in control. They've got a couple laps left, but yeah, they're actually cousins, not brothers. So, but yeah, so here we go. We got Eckes and Suarez on the front row. Then we got Taylor Gray and the 20 and the 25 on the outside. So here we go. Pace car's off. Field in the hands of Suarez. It'll be 14 to go when we hit the green flag. Green flag is out. We are back to racing. And here we go. The 54 come rocketing down into the turn. 14 laps to go here. Can Suarez hold on the way that his other Cup drivers could not? versus a very hungry field behind him. Very few of these drivers behind him have ever won at the Xfinity level, and most of them, if they have won, it's been a while. So here we go, coming through this one. I think the only drivers in this field that have really won overly recently would be like Allgaier, the defending champion. He's one of the only drivers that's really won overly recently. That's anywhere near the front. Austin Hill, hey, there's your dark horse pick. But right now though the front of this field definitely is a little shuffled up compared to how we would normally expect it. There's Brandon Jones looking up the inside of the number 26 car, Dean Thompson. Dean's gonna be able to clear him back off the corner, and he's able to get out in front of him. Now you've got Taylor Gray versus Christian Eckes, and can they not flash big yellow colors near the scoreboard? Big yellow colors should not be anywhere near your scoreboard for a NASCAR race.
It looks like the same color as caution,
Yeah,
which would make no sense.
Yeah, and I know why they flash yellow, because it's that driver's color of their race car, but still. 13 laps to go. We are working our way through this one. It's actually going pretty quickly, honestly. I mean, we're coming up on the 2-hour mark now, which, again, for a NASCAR Xfinity Series race is not a bad timing of it.
And not a lot of crashes, just random cautions.
Yeah, and we've only had one really major crash today, which was that one right at the restart of stage 3.
That didn't last long.
It lasted a decent chunk, especially considering we were just coming off of a 5-lap caution for the end of the stage. But yeah, so right now though, Eckes versus Eckes versus Gray, fighting it out for the second position, allowing Suarez to get away a little bit. Suarez is now extended to over 2-second lead between himself and Eckes here for the second position. And if they can manage to not have another caution, Suarez might be able to just drive away with this one at his home track. Imagine the amount of applause there of the Mexican driver winning the Mexico Grand Prix here. There's the playoff bubble as they run currently. Ryan Sieg currently 3 points out, and Harrison Burton currently 3 points above if they were to finish the race in these exact positions. Yeah, Ryan Sieg really needs Harrison Burton to drop down some spots here with Brandon Jones behind him. But yeah, Taylor Gray absolutely trying to arm wrestle this guy, especially considering he's seen a lot of his Toyota teammates go out with issues. He wants to try and get this win for Toyota. Here we go, looking up the inside on the 16. Is he going to be able to finally get it clear? And yep, there we go. Gets clear of the 16 to Eckes, and now Gray can start to set his sights on the leader of Suarez. Suarez out in front of the field here, but Gray's going to try and track him down here.
Hill made some progress from where he was last.
Yeah, he'll all the way up to the 4th position, so could potentially see an Austin Hill rally here at the very end. Zilich is back up to 13th. How on earth is Zilich back up in 13th already?
That's a good question.
That is an incredible job by that team to get that car back out here and even rolling, let alone up into the top, challenging for a top 10 spot here. Because, that car should not be anywhere near as fast as it was. Yeah, now Zilich up to 12th here. He's up 14 spots since the restart here. And he's actually right on the back bumper of Sammy Smith now for the 10th position. So your pick and my pick dueling it out for spot number 10.
Hopefully mine can keep 10.
Hopefully, oh man, Zilich's car looks toast. But he's managing to drive it here. Greg is starting to eat into Suarez's lead a little bit, but the question is, will he be able to get there in time? I mean, there is plenty of distance left to go, but you always got to worry about the difference between catching him and passing him, because Suarez is not going to give up this win without a fight in front of the home crowd. First race with a hometown crowd here for Suarez, considering he comes from Mexico. Here we go. Oh, and Jesse Love doors the 8 of Sammy Smith, and that's going to move Sammy Smith down to 12th now. Zilich up into the 10th position. So Zilich currently in a top 10 spot. Connor Zilich, after all that damage he had, is now top 10. So there we go. And looks like some kind of speedy drive probably on the racetrack there or something, as we saw some white stuff coming off of all three cars as they came through that complex. Imagine if Zilich gets another restart, though, and another shot to try and pick off cars. Zilich may actually have a good shot at winning this one. So here we go. Again, right now we got Eckes has dropped himself all the way back to the 21 of Austin Hill. Eckes definitely does not have the car to challenge Suarez or Gray here. I mean, he did his best to hold up Gray, and now he'll do his best to try and hold up the 21 of Austin Hill, but he runs wide, and Austin Hill drives to the inside, and Christian Eckes drops the spot. Yeah, that colleague car just is not as good as the RCR Joe Gibbs cars of Gray and Hill, or the Junior Motorsports car of Suarez. Alright, so there we go. Again, it's about we still have about a 2-second gap here between Gray and Suarez for the lead. But that gap between second and third has grown to nearly a 2.5, 3-second lead between Gray in second and Austin Hill in third. Alright, so there we go. Again, some rain on the camera lens here, and man, that car is so beat up. Look at Zilich's car as it's running inside the top 10. But there we go. Zilich up into the 8th position here with a car that looks like it's ready for the junkyard after Martinsville. But instead of being ready for the junkyard, he's ready to go and try and make a pass here on Brandon Jones for the, for 7th here. If Zilich wins this race with that junked of a race car, that would be insanity. This crowd would go nuts. And I am all here for it. Alright, so there we go. Again, right now, Gray has reduced it down to a 1.3 second lead between himself and Suarez. They're working their way through this one pretty effectively, but Suarez just has to hold on for 8 more laps here. If he can just hang on for 8 laps here, and a lot of contact here as Jesse Love gets sent wide. Jesse Love gets sent wide off course here by Sammy Smith. Heavy contact there, sending the 2 car off course here. Let's see. Yeah, the Ada Sammy Smith gets into the rear bumper and just sends the 2 off course. That is unfortunate there, and yeah, you hate to see it for the 2, just getting absolutely bullied by the 8 car. Although he actually used it to his benefit. He's gotten out ahead of the 8 car still. So yeah, right now we're working our way through this one. Zillage on the back bumper of the oh no. No. I'm seeing the flag. We might have a yellow flag coming out here as Taylor Gray is catching the leader here. Caution flies. It's the 2 of Jesse Love. The 2 of Love has spun, and we've got ourselves yet another caution. 5th caution of the afternoon here for Jesse Love going around. And that now is going to re-rack the field here. Gray and Suarez on top of each other here for this restart. Zilic is in 8th and going to try and see if he can hang on. But yeah, Zilic's car looks about as junked as it did before the wreck.
Oh, yeah.
And he's passing cars up into the top 10. Which is just insane. But now we got a caution flag. We're going to get to re-rack it and try it again. Go. They got Ross Chastain in the booth here. Suarez is Cup Series teammate. Looking forward to seeing how he'll run tomorrow. But yeah, Suarez definitely going to be is going to be upset that they had this caution flag. Alright, we're going to run and actually use the bathroom this time. Last time I was going to, but then I decided to ask about the swapping the roof shoes out. I'll be back in a sec.
Yep. They still got caution up, and probably gonna be like another couple laps. Who knows?
All right, here we go. Not back in the green yet.
Not yet. Still a caution.
5 laps to go. Hey, we're getting down to crunch time here.
Yeah. I'm wondering if it's gonna stay caution all the way until the last lap.
Well, they'll go into overtime regardless if it does end up that way.
Because we're already at 16 caution laps so far.
Yep.
From the looks of it, it looks like we're already close to like 1/3 of the race in cautions.
Yeah, well, 16 laps is pretty close to it. I mean, 60 laps would be, 60 laps complete. We've done about a fourth of the laps so far have been under caution flag. And then we might be going to overtime, which could be interesting. That's going to be a 2-lap shootout if we do get overtime here. So definitely going to be an interesting one.
That's when everyone's going to go all out and try to get what they can.
The lights are off on the pace car. We're going to be getting ready for choose going here. Suarez, Gray, Hill, Eckes, Sanchez, the top 5. Man, could you imagine if Zilich drives back to the front and wins this one? Would you give him credit for that? If he gets that done?
From going to 8th all the way to 1st?
Well, and not just that. Remember the condition of his race car.
Yeah, I would give him credit. I would give him props for that. Based on his condition of his car and the place he's in.
Yeah.
He actually just gained 1, so he's actually 7th now.
Yeah, that just means he'll probably win the drag race against Jones or whoever he's on the same row with. Here we go. There's the Daniel Suarez banner in the grandstands here. Pace car is heading for pit road. He's running for cover as the field is in the hands of Daniel Suarez and Taylor Gray as we get ready to go off the final corner. Green, green, green. Green flag is out. We are back to racing here. 4 laps to go. 4 more times around this massive road course here in Mexico. So here we go. Down into this one. Looks like Suarez is going to win the race to turn 1. And now we got Eckes looking to the outside. No, Gray up to the top. Is Gray about to try and clear for the lead into the turn? It's going to be side by side still through the corner, but there we go. Taylor Gray. Oh, Gray shoves the 9 car off course. The 9 car rejoins in the lead, but I think he is going to be told to give that spot potentially up there, even though I don't think he necessarily did anything wrong. There's a car with a massive tire rub there. I believe that's the 48 of Sanchez with the tire rub. And that is now Zilic up into the top 5. Connor Zilic has made his way to 5th after all this. I mean, he is on another level at this point.
Let's
Connor
see if we can get to first with 4 laps. What, 3?
Yeah, it'll be 3 to go. 3 to go this time by. And let's see what happened to the 47 guy hit by Zilic as Zilic was trying to make his way through the middle of 3 wide. The 48 was able to jump up a couple of spots there as he basically got shoved out of bounds and was able to utilize that. But
yeah, but that can.
Oh no, Ryan Seegerhound! No, my fellow Ryan. There we go. The crowd on their feet. Yeah, super excited here for Daniel Suarez. The local kid with a shot to try and win this race. And a host of smoke behind him as these drivers are scraping to the finish here. The 48 with massive tire rub. If he can just make it to the end of this one, that would be insane.
I think he's going to try to play as hell to stay in.
Yeah, the problem is if that tire goes down and he spins right around in front of that field, he's going to get KO'd. And we'll have another caution and almost certainly overtime at that point.
Yeah.
As we get ready to head into the stadium section of this course here. Again, these drivers doing really well.
Zilich won 4th now.
Yeah, Zilich up to 4th, and he's going for 3rd. He just took 3rd from Eckes. Oh no, Eckes with the crossover move. Nice crossover move there for Eckes.
We're gonna fight hard for that.
And here comes Austin Hill into the mix.
I think Hill and Zilich will end up fight for 4.
Oh, let's see. Because, yeah, now Brandon Jones is in the mix here as well as they're going through this stadium section here. Zilich able to arm wrestle his way around the 20. The question is, can Zilich keep up on... Because it seems like Zilich is actually pretty good at keeping up on the straight line speed. Yeah, when he gets on the straightaways, it's just going to be those corners that are going to be the problem, which, yeah, obviously easier said than done. Zilich is usually not too bad at the corner, but yeah, there we go.
Words and grays saying real distance, which is
they've got a good gap. Oh, and there goes the 20 around. No caution, but the 20 has spun into the runoff area. He's going to try and find a spot to rejoin. And Brandon Jones has just lost all his track position. So Brandon Jones will not win this race. The question is, who will? Will be Suarez, Gray? Will we see an overtime? At this point, it's going to be hard for Zilich, Eckes, or Hill to try and run down the front two without an overtime attempt. And the only way we get overtime would be if we get a caution flag sometime between now and the white flag coming out. And if we're heading into that stadium section, that means we've only got like 2 corners left. Yes, only 2 laps, only 2 corners away from the white flag, and that would end this.
Suarez might take this.
And they shot at overtime. And yeah, Daniel Suarez racing at his home track here in Mexico City. The hometown kid versus Taylor Gray, the youngster here. Off the final corner, it's going to be the white flag. 1 lap to go. 1 more time around. No overtime today. This race will end at lap 65. Whether it's a checkered flag or a yellow flag that they come around to meet. So here we go. So Taylor Gray has 14 more corners after this one to try and set up a potential move. Now 13 corners remain. Now 12. 12 corners remain for Taylor Gray to set up the number 9 car for a potential pass. Don't know what you end up doing here if you're Taylor Gray to try and outfox the driver of the number 9 car here.
He's probably gonna wait until the smaller turns to probably overtake.
But you got to make sure you stay close enough, and that's gonna be the biggest thing for Gray. Is gonna be just make sure you stay close enough.
The 9 car has been holding a good gap every turn. So
yeah, good enough to where at least the 54 can't overdrive the corner and win this one. But here we go, down into another braking zone here. Again, Taylor Gray showing a lot of respect to the veteran Suarez here. Through the final 2 corners, though, there is not much time left. 1 corner to go. Can Suarez hold on?
Come on, Gray.
Here comes Taylor Gray up the inside. Not going to get there. Taylor Gray going to come up second here. Daniel Suarez is going to win in Mexico. Daniel Suarez, the hometown hero, wins it in Mexico.
I was not expecting that one.
Good job, Daniel Suarez. Last to first. Austin Hill third. Fourth, Eckes. And coming home with a battered and beaten race car, Connor Zilic with an insane 5th place finish.
I like how my underdog actually came in 3rd.
Yep, well, if my underdog could have avoided losing a tire there at the end, could have been different. But yeah, there we go. Suarez burning it down in victory lane here. You know, doing the burnout, his home track. It's been a minute since he's won a race. His last race win coming in February of 2024. All right, so as per usual, I am going to go through the full rundown of the finishing order. But if you guys did just come for the race reaction, that will be the end of the race. So, but yeah, so Daniel Suarez first, Taylor Gray second, Austin Hill third, Christian Eckes fourth, and Zilic fifth. We just went through most of those ones. So let's go ahead and highlight some of these other ones. So William Sawalich coming home in the 6th position. I feel like we don't give him a lot of credit for the rookie season he's having, but William Sawalich in the 18 coming home in the 6th position. I believe is he the second best Toyota. Austin Green coming home in the 7th position. I shouted him out as a potential driver to keep an eye on, and he comes home 7th. 8th is where we find Jeb Burton. 9th, Harrison Burton. So Jeb winning the Battle of the Burtons there. And then Sammy Smith coming home in the 10th position. 11th is where we find Creed. 12th, Dean Thompson. 13th, Daniel Dye. 14th, tygibbs. And rounding out your top 15 is where we find Alex LeBay. So tygibbs finished this race too, even despite that massive damage we saw on his car too.
Well, at least they didn't have that massive hood problem like 24 did, I think it was.
No, just the 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. Matt DiBenedetto comes home 16th. 17th for Chris Wright. 18th, Jesse Love. 19th is where we will find Carson Quapple. And rounding out your top 20 finishers tonight will be Josh Williams.
Can I say a few?
Yeah.
We're on, what, 21?
Yeah.
Anthony Alfredo's 21. Thomas, I can't remember.
And Azetia.
Whatever you said, is 22. Sam Mayer is 23. Josh Blicky.
Yeah, Blicky.
Is 24. Brandon Jones, 25. Brad Perez, 26. Wayne Perkins, 27. Kyle Seeds, 28. Brian Seeds, 29.
And that's the end of the lead lap finishers. Andres Perez, the Truck Series regular, coming home in the 30th position, rounding out your top 30. Of course, my dark horse pick of Nick Sanchez ends up coming home 31st, 1 lap shy of the checkered flag after the flat tire late.
I'll call that a fail.
Yeah, well, hey, it's a dark horse for a reason. Sometimes you gotta go out on a limb that isn't the entire tree trunk. Ryan Ellis, 32nd. Sage Karam, 33rd. 34th is where we find Justin Allgaier, who must have gotten caught up in one of those big wreck instances. Parker Rutzloff in the 4, coming home 35th. And I will let you have the last 4 if you want them.
35th?
36th on back. Starting with, yeah.
Jeremy Clements, 36. Ruben Rubio, or whatever.
Ravello.
Whatever. Is 37. Brennan Pooley, 38. Chris Bell, 39, unfortunately.
Yeah, so Christopher Bell will run out the 39 car field. Again, thank you guys for joining us. And again, thank you to Robert for tuning in and enjoying this race with us.
It was fun.
Hopefully we'll be able to have you on for another oval soon, so that it will be a little bit more exciting. But definitely got it better once we didn't have to fight lag the entire time.
That and me fighting my sleep.
Yeah, the fact that we both are very tired. But by the way, it's Brennan Poole, not the E at the end is silent.
I don't care. I said it how I even thought it was.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did enjoy this stream, feel free to leave a like, subscribe if you guys are new, so you guys don't miss any future videos or live streams. And until next time, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video, live stream, whatever you guys decide to do with the rest of your night. Have a great night, everybody, and goodbye.
That was interesting.